What's up guys, it's Josh from KeepItTechie, and today I wanted to do a quick video showing you guys how to install Android 9 on Linux. So as I stated, I wanted to show you guys how to install Android 9 on Linux, and it's not really an installation. I'm basically going to show you guys how to actually download and run Android within VirtualBox on a Linux operating system. Now you can of course use these virtual machine images on other platforms like Microsoft and Mac OS using a virtual machine or using VirtualBox or VMware. Either one of those will work. I just kind of want to focus in on Linux, just showing you guys how to actually install it on Linux. And the whole purpose of me showing you guys how to do this, some people out there are Android developers, and they probably mainly develop on Mac OS or Windows operating systems, and I just wanted to show people that you can develop applications for the Android OS for phones and tablets and all that stuff by using a virtual machine. And what I mean by developing, most people like to test their applications before they release them out to the public, which is a good thing. You want to make sure that the application works on different versions of Android, and by setting up virtual machines you can test out your applications this way. So let me go on and get to the website where I can show you guys how to actually get the VirtualBox image from. So let's get started on that. Okay, cool. So basically what I wanted to show you guys is osboxes.org. And you guys can download all your images from here, and I'll link this down in the description below so you guys can check it out for yourself. But this is where you can get a lot of virtual machine images from, and this is where I'll get my Android virtual machine from. And I've already downloaded it, but basically you can just go here, go to VirtualBox images and click on there. And if you're using, let's say, VMware, then you can also download the version, the VMware version. But you just scroll down, and here are all the VDI images, which is compatible with VirtualBox. That's the VirtualBox image file. So you just click on Android and you can download the VirtualBox image from here. And they also have a whole bunch of other images on here for VirtualBox. You can download other Linux distributions that are already set up for VirtualBox, and that'll kind of save you some time on the installation of the operating system. You can kind of download the VDI and boot right up into the operating system and get to work. But I want to stick with Android, so I'm gonna click on VirtualBox image, and I'm mainly just showing you guys how to download it or where to download it from. And just to read a little bit, it says Android is a mobile operating system. We all know that, and it's based on the Linux kernel and currently developed by Google. Android x64 is a project to port Android open source projects to x86 platform, formerly known as patch hosting for Android x86 support. The Android x86 team created their own code base to provide support on different x86 platforms and set up a Git server to host it. It is an open source project licensed under Apache Public License 2.0. The iOS image downloaded for Android x64 is on SourceForge page. So it's basically a link to the SourceForge page where it's located. But as you can see, here are some of the features. It says features are available in the latest release, kernel 3.10.40 KMS enabled, Wi-Fi support, and pretty much you can read all this, but it supports pretty much a lot of the hardware. But if you scroll down, this is the latest version. You can download the latest version. It should work. You may have to play around with some of the settings in VirtualBox in order to get it to work, and I'll kind of show you guys that when I get to that step. But you can just download your VirtualBox image from here. You can get the 32-bit or the 64-bit, and then also it automatically brought up the VirtualBox one, but you can also click right here and it'll give you the VMware image. So it's the VMDK image, which is, you know, that step that we clicked on where it just asks you if you want to do VirtualBox or VMware. You click on VMware, it'll basically take you to the same page, and then this will be highlighted when you get to it. But we want VirtualBox, so I already have Android downloaded the VirtualBox image on my system, so I won't click download, but you just hit download, it'll download it, and then it comes in a 7-zip format, so you basically have to have 7-zip to unzip it. So I just want you guys to know that. But let's go on and get to the installation, or the, you know, boot up and everything. Okay, cool. So I have VirtualBox open, and this is the VirtualBox manager that I use to install all my virtual machines. And as you can see, I got a whole bunch of virtual machines listed here, but I want to walk you guys through setting up the virtual machine for Android. So what I typically do is just name it whatever the distribution is, or, you know, the OS is, and this is Android, so I'm gonna type Android, and I always put the version after it. I at least try to put the version so I can kind of organize things, or keep things somewhat organized. But this is Android 9, which is the latest version of Android that they had on the site that I can install. So one thing I like to do is go down and select the type, and then this is, you know, obviously Linux. And then since Android is not here, you could just basically select other Linux 64-bit, because I downloaded the 64-bit version. So you want to make sure you select the right architecture in here. So let's just hit next. And then one thing about memory, I always, even with my virtual machines, my regular virtual machines, I always use like 4 gigabytes of memory, majority of the time. Sometimes I'll bump it up to 8 depending on what I'm actually installing. Like if it's a KDE distribution, I'll bump it up to like 8 gigabytes, and I have a whole bunch of memory to do that. But 4 should be good enough, and you don't want to, you know, make it too high. If you only have a certain amount of memory on your system, let's say you only have 8 gigs of memory, then I would probably use like 2, but I wouldn't go over 4, because, you know, your operating system, your main operating system, is still running on that same memory. It's basically sharing it. So let's move on to the next step though. And on the next step, it basically asks you about the hard drive. Now this is the difference when it comes to setting up a virtual machine where you already have the hard drive image. So what you want to do is select the checkbox here, and then press the browse button, and then what you want to do is add the image, the hard drive image file, to this location. That way you can select it as the hard drive. So let's go down and find my hard drive, and the latest version is R2. I downloaded both of them. I don't know if you've seen that, but I had R2 and R1 in there. And as you can see, it's set to 500 gigabytes. I think that's the default that they use with OS boxes, but it's dynamically allocated, so it only takes up the size of the actual files on the system. So that's what we want to select. So let's just hit choose. And that's our hard drive that we want to add to the virtual machine. So let's hit create. And now before we boot up the actual system, the first thing you want to do is go in and make a few settings changes, and I'll show you guys that now. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to show you guys this, because sometimes you have to play around with it in order to get it to work. Now on the general tab, you don't have to mess with any of this, but under system, one thing you want to do is just verify your memory settings. But down here under pointer device, you want to go down and select that to mouse. That way you can use your mouse on the actual Android system once it boots up. Now I've had issues where the hardware clock, if it's checked, it will cause issues, and sometimes it doesn't. But for me, on my system, on my hardware, leaving that checked works. so I'm gonna just leave it that way. And then also with the next tab is the processor. So you want to kind of bump this up depending on how many processors you got. Mine has 16 virtual cores, so I can select 4 and be fine, and it won't mess with my system. But you want to adjust this based on how many cores you have in your system, or processors, virtual processors that you have on your system. So in acceleration, we don't need to do anything there. But then display, this is another area you want to play around with just to get it to work. Now, I haven't had success with the defaults, and then one thing, I always bump up the video memory just to bump it up. I don't see a difference if I don't bump it up because of the way I record, so it really doesn't matter for me, but I just bump it up out of habit. But on my system, one thing I have to change, I have to select the graphics controller to VBox VGA. I can't use the defaults, and just ignore where it says invalid settings detected. That'll actually work. And then it's a lot of documentation out there that states that you need to enable 3D acceleration. Now, a lot of what I've seen on OS Box's website, it basically said for VMware you want to enable it, but it doesn't say anything about VirtualBox. So I tried it enabled, I tried it not checked and enabled, and not checked actually worked for me. And like I said, this virtual controller, it'll default to the VMS VGA, but the VBox VGA actually worked for me. And I even tried VBox SVGA, and that did not work for me as well. So I just wanted to point that out to you. You may have to play around with it, but for your system, because I've seen it where it worked different ways depending on your hardware. And it's kind of hard for me to tell you what will work on your system and what won't. I just like I had to play around with it to figure out which one will work for me. You will have to do the same. Now, that's pretty much it under this tab. You don't need to mess with any of this. Storage, that shows you the actual VDI that's connected. One thing I always do with every virtual machine is I do bridge adapter, because I like it to always pull its own IP address. That way it's separate from my host machine. But you don't have to do that. You can run it as NAT, and that'll work fine. But and then another thing I always do, I always turn off these menus that show up at the top, and then the menu that shows at the bottom in VirtualBox. That's just a personal preference for me. You don't have to turn it off if you don't want to. I do it because it looks cleaner when I record, so I'm just explaining why I actually turned that off. So let's go down and press OK, and we should be good to boot this thing up, and it should boot up right away. And let's show you guys what it actually looks like. Okay, cool. So it booted up. This is basically Grub 1.1.5, and all you had to do, I stopped it, but it does the countdown, just like on every distribution. It'll do a countdown and automatically select the first one. But I just wanted to show you what it was actually going to pop up and show you guys in the Grub. But it basically selects the first one. So let's press enter, and then it'll go through the boot up process. Now, one thing with the boot up process, it'll pop up with this Android screen, and it'll show that for a while. And actually, let's change up my screen so you guys can see this a whole lot better. But yeah, this is Android, so it booted up right away, and we're on the actual desktop for Android, and we are good to go. We have everything. We had the system up. You know what I'm saying? That's all it took to actually do this. And it already has internet connection. It's connected to the internet. You can connect to your Google account if you want to, and it uses the mouse for everything. So it says finish setting up your virtual machine. You can go through and do what you want. It says copy your data, set wallpaper, and more. But we're not going to do that. And that's cool that Android kind of recognizes that it's VirtualBox. But I mean, basically that's the image file that they created that's doing that. So just kind of wanted to explain that to you. But yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want using this. You can go to the Android store, you know, and install applications that you want. You know, of course, with anything Google, you got to sign in order for everything to work properly. And then right now it's going through and doing some updates for the system, which let's go on and just go back. I don't want to do that right now, but that's pretty much all I wanted to show you guys in this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, leave comments down in the comment boxes below, and I'll put the link to OS boxes in the description of the video. I think I said that earlier. I just want to make sure I say that so you guys can actually get to the site and download your own VirtualBox image and install it on your and boot it up in VirtualBox. But thanks for checking out the channel, and of course, keep it techie.